Jake Hysterics, Aussie Penko. With me always is Nathan Mendrix Mendez. And shortly soon, we're going to have Rogie come in on the studio. But that's not what is important here. This is ACL's coverage of the wildcards. And people want desperately to get into the OCS. With 7 teams already making it in, this is the one last spot. And they're fighting for it.
Yeah, this is definitely go time for the teams out there at the moment. This is their chances to really push themselves through to the next area in league. And once you get there, well, who knows?
OCS is such a big opportunity for these players. So, of course, we're going to go through a couple of rounds today, see who is the best of the best coming through, who really wants that spot. Of course, we've got Team Storm coming through, also known as Team Passion Fruit, who have been playing a couple of weeks now. We're going to see them play a little bit later. And, of course, we have other teams coming through like Avant-Garde Academy, Abyss Esports Black and White. These favorite teams that have been picked through. And if they don't get the spot today, well, then they're going to have to try for the next split. And it's going to be a bit disappointing to see these teams come out with a lot of potential. But in the end, the best team's going to come through.
Well, that's the point of these competitions. We're really out there to see who is the best at the moment, who deserves the spot, who wants it the most. That's who will get the spots in the OCS. And once that comes through, also the Pro League. But these teams are amazing in their own regards.
They are.
Team Passion Fruit or Team Storm now, who's been picked up, is just phenomenal. They're actually able to handle against Krispy Kreme Crew, who has already made it their way through to the OCS. We do have a couple teams as well.
Like Legacy Genesis are in there, and we saw them play against Krispy Kreme Crew, and they absolutely dominated, and they're going to have a spot into the OCS as well. But we're going to move into the first game here. We see some bands coming out. Azir, Callista, Fizz, and Rise getting taken out. Rise, remember, getting buffed a bit in 5.10, but hasn't been touched in this 5.11 where we've seen a lot of focus around Echo.
Yeah, Rise's changes in 5.11 weren't exactly huge changes in regards to we need to nerf him, we need to make sure he's down. The big things that they looked at was, well, let's just get rid of some of the things where he was able to build his like little passive stacks, gain little advantages that he didn't need, but he's just huge at the moment. He's definitely a ban and pick in the pro scene, and very easy to see that he's actually a pick in the current situation.
And it's absolutely no surprise that now we see one of the best things to come into League of Legends purely because of his ability to outplay. Echo's being hovered there just a little bit. Now, his counter at the moment, we're thinking it's Azir, but Azir getting banned out. So there's really no one who could sort of silence that Echo enough to make a difference, and he gets locked in. Rek'Sai's on the other team there. He's looking at him, and he's thinking, Echo on the other side. What's so great about Echo at the moment, Mendrix?
Echo's just, like you said before, he's got fantastic ability to outplay. He can really go in and actually initiate the fights himself, or if he wants to actually go in and clean up as well.
Yeah.
He's got so many options that he can actually apply, and on top of that, he has his own little inbuilt lane sustain. You can actually back to lane once he's got his ultimate, pop straight back in. So if you're having a rough time, that's fine. You also have the option of a fantastic lane sustain in sacrificing that utility of your ultimate. It has a really low cooldown as well, so it's not like it's really going to affect the team fights in the future as well.
And of course, we've got HKAYCEE moving to the pick phase now. Limited Power also locking in that Sivir down the bottom lane. And Sivir's actually been touched up a little bit in this patch 5.11. Her ultimate, not what it used to be, Mendrix.
Yeah, Riot was giving us some context onto why they changed or nerfed the ultimate in the later stages. The reason why is Sivir was sort of crowding out other picks in the ADC role. That was purely because, well, a team became a team-engaged team because of Sivir. It wasn't a hard-engaged team because you had 3 to 4 hard-engaged champions. It was simply well, maybe you had 1 or 2, and then with Sivir, boom, you had a hard-engaged team. That's not something that Riot wants. They want other teams to sort of say, okay, we're a hard-engaged team because of these 4 to 5 champions, not just because of Sivir. That's something that shouldn't be the case. A team comp should not be judged solely on one champion.
Oh, it definitely shouldn't. And I mean, now Sivir, that she's a bit more balanced with her ultimate. We see HKAYCEE actually lock in the Karma and the Jinx. Jinx against Sivir down in the bottom lane. What are your thoughts there?
Jinx outscales Sivir the longer the game goes on through. Sivir will bully out Jinx purely because of her boomerang blade, purely because of the ricochet that she has. Look for them to really push heavily on through. But once it gets towards that late game, once Jinx picks up her range with her rockets and is able to really get that minigun rolling, she's going to be very strong, and you have to watch out for her.
I just saw something amazing, ladies and gentlemen. We see Renekton getting locked in the top lane, that absolute huge bruiser, and a really good, possibly a support or a mid lane pick to Lulu. We don't know just yet. But Lulu, a beautiful support pick in either role coming through. That's a bit of a team comp coming through that's sort of basing around that Echo.
Yeah, they want to sort of protect the Echo in this situation. They've got the speed up to really push him on through to get the team fights going. You've got that nice big bruise on the front lane with Renekton to really go in there first, soak up that damage, and then you have the Lulu to protect Echo either one way. Or if you want to, you can also pop it on Renekton. Really depends on the situation. If Echo decides to go in first, guess what? He's probably going to get the wild growth.
And he always does. Echo always goes in first. With his huge skill caliber, it's really hard to judge what Echo's going to do next. His phase dive has the ability to escape and come back in, but I don't think that'll matter much when we see a Rumble and a Victor getting picked up as well. Victor in the mid lane, still as powerful pick as ever.
Yeah, Victor, after his rework, has really started to grow into the meta. He's had a few ups and downs purely because of bugs, and he's been disabled from the queues around.
But he's back.
But he's back this time. He doesn't have that large HP bar that was stopping him from being played before. Now he's really big. He's got effective. That death laser over here that he has is just so huge. The poke is fantastic. And then that gravity field, if he lands it, can be really big in team fights. When you're looking at what we've got here with the teams, HKC in particular seems to have a really team fight heavy team. They're looking to really get the right engage, land that Rumble ultimate, land those rockets, get Rek'Sai in there, and actually win a team fight. Limited Power looking to more for a laning phase outcome. They want to really power on through there straight away. Probably look for them to gain advantages purely through the Renekton, but then you've got the late game as well coming through with the Cassiopeia that has just been picked up.
I think that might be a Cassiopeia mid, and we see a Echo in the jungle, I believe, at the moment. Echo has had so much viability in top, mid, and jungle. Even support, I've been seeing him getting picked, but in the jungle, in the wild cards, that's a bit of a risky move.
Or, you know, it seems to be one of those things where they're looking at taking a bit of a note out of some of the pro teams out there, because we have seen Echo in the jungle in some of the European LCS and the LCK, if you guys have been following that. It's definitely hard to see. If they've been really practicing it, then it's going to work for them. But I'm interested to see how it's going to go with that pick, how they're going to use it, because there's not really anyone that you might want to gank. Renekton's going to really bully out Rumble early, so it's going to be hard for Echo to gank there. Same thing happens with the Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia and Victor, that's going to be a bit of an immobile lane. That's probably where you're going to see a lot of the contention with the junglers and the mid lane. Look for that to be really where they're going to be focusing the fights.
And we remember looking at Limited Power early in the season, around the round 1 mark of week 1 as well. We saw that Limited Power had good team composition, and their synergy wasn't bad, but they put all their hopes and dreams into one player, and that last time was Sasaki on the mid lane. They put a lot of focus around that mid lane, so you think that's going to happen again?
Well, it's sort of that sort of TSM-esque sort of play. We have that one big player that we're really going to focus our attention on, make sure he gets big, and we're going to have everyone else around the team support that one person. It works in a situation when you have a playmaker, but if the team's more than happy to work with that idea that, yeah, you know, we've got the ADC, it's going to be on the janitor duty. He's not going to go out there and try to make plays happen. We've got our top laner. He's always going to be beefy, or he's going to really sacrifice himself for the team. Your mid laner really needs to come through, and if it doesn't work, you'll find that they'll fall flat on their face.
And with a Cass who's been touched up in 5.10, remember her mana, I think, fell down a little bit there. The Twin Fangs not as powerful as it once was. Bringing Cassiopeia back in, it's a bit of a surprise pick. Do you think a surprise pick alone is enough to sort of pull HKC off their feet?
It's always a possibility. The big thing is that with Victor versus the Cassiopeia, what you're looking to find is that both of them are poke champions, and now that her poke's been hit with her sustain, that might hurt her a little bit in that matchup.
Yeah.
But she's got that fantastic ultimate. It's always a game changer if she lands a fantastic gaze.
And a lot of the time, these Cassiopeias know how to land that petrifying gaze. It's unbelievable. We look at the top laners now and really adding to their team composition. When you have a jungler that's such a bruiser like Echo and such an assassin coming through, when he comes into your lane, he's going to phase dive. He's going to jump on you instantly. Use that time winder, get that 3-hit proc from the passive, do a lot of damage. And then you have a Renekton who can lock down and just does a lot of damage early as well. I think top lane is going to be a scary place for the Rumble, who scales that mid to late game stage.
Well, Renekton's really going to bully out Rumble.
Yeah.
Most people know Rumble to be the lane bully, and in the current meta, he really is, but you haven't seen much of Renekton. Renekton actually out-bullies Rumble early, purely because for Rumble to really get in there in CS, he needs to get into melee range.
Yeah.
And Renekton loves it when anyone comes in melee range and they're not exactly the strongest duelist. He'll go in there, make sure he hits you with your Cull the Meek, make sure he gets you with his stun, which hits for 3 times when it's empowered. He's very brutal when it comes to that situation. On top of that, he has much more innate sustain than Rumble does. So look for him to really go through and actually bully out the Rumble, and that will probably find that that means that there'll probably be dives coming from Echo on the Rumble towards that level 5 mark. Look to him to try and get level 6 quickly first, and then try to just use his dominance to really dominate the lane.
Pretty much. That was a fantastic pun there from me. I knew that was going to come through. Black Cleaver, probably going to get build on the Renekton first. Remember, that buff of the Black Cleaver, it's so popular now, being seen on pretty much every top laner who can sustain some damage in that lane. Let's move on to the mid lane, because it's an important lane. Both mid laners have taken Barrier there. Barrier. This is not the most popular summoner spell to come through.
What you find with mid laners at the moment is they're either taking that heal or ignite because they really want to have that kill potential, or they have exhaust if they're versing an assassin. In both cases, these guys are big poke champions, so they're going to go through. They want to make sure that if someone misplays, they can actually dump in. Well, no, we're going to sit there and poke each other out, and then when they get the chance to really burst them down, they want to make sure that they're going to hit them hard and that they're not going to hurt themselves in the process. So they've got that barrier to really help them if they misplay it.
But you normally see Cassiopeia in the mid lane who takes the flash and the ghost, just like the Twisted Fate who is looking for escapes, because Cassiopeia doesn't really have escapes unless having to use that petrifying gaze to get out of situations. So seeing Barrier instead of maybe Ghost, you think it was a bad play on his part?
Well, you have to look at who their jungler is, and it's Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai appears on the map. Chances are your Ghost won't be fast enough once he underburrows into you. So it probably might hurt him towards the game as it goes on. It might be his saving grace, because it might give him enough time to survive that initial burst from Rek'Sai and Victor when it really lock her down.
As we move into the game, the first game of the day, ladies and gentlemen, HKC versus Limited Power. Limited Power being the team that we've seen on the Rift before, but HKC, not sure we've seen their faces here, so anything could happen. The debut of Echo in the Wildcards. Even though it's only the first game, Echo gonna surprise us, or is he? Charge, probably someone you got to look out for.
Oh, I definitely have to look out for him at the moment. It's just with the champion being so new, so fresh, and really we haven't seen Charge play that much on him. I want to see what he can pull out. I want to see if he's got the mechanics to make Echo work.
Oh, and a fantastic ward there is going to spot the invade. Looks like Limited Power going to try and position around here, see if anyone's coming through, but they have been spotted by a ward, so all of them are going to back now, and HKC, they're looking up at this red buff, which isn't warded, so they have no clue where they are.
Yeah, the team's just really trading positions at the moment. I'm surprised that they didn't throw a ward down on the red side on the top there just to see what they're doing. There's a really aggressive ward placed by Limited Power on the bottom line. That suggests they might look for a lane swap, but they're just going to go back to standard lanes anyway. No, there was a ward put down there. The ping was just blocking it.
It looks like Limited Power are going to pop their heads into this jungle, or maybe not. Both teams playing it very safe here. Some good ward coverage, going to spot both teams out. Sasaki not going to find anyone there just yet. The Karma was waiting for that, and that's what I love about Karma support. It's so aggressive early, and the damage is huge. And with their team composition, if they got a pick there, that could have been an easy first blood.
Yeah, and there's actually a lane swap being initiated by HKC. We've got the Jinx and the Karma on the top lane versus the Renekton. This is because Rumble knew he was going to get bullied out by Sora. And Sora's actually a very good Renekton. I've seen him play through and carry games very effectively. And I'm going to be interested to see how he does use the new Black Cleaver, because I haven't seen him play with the Black Cleaver change.
So we've seen the lane swap come out. Spectre and Sykes looking to aggro onto the Renekton in the top. Sora's probably going to take a hard time for this huge poking bottom lane. And Teal's looking to do the same against Syge. Both top laners probably not going to get too much farm here, but going to have to keep an eye on who really gets the most benefit out of this lane swap.
Rumble really needs a sort of cheap power spike. All he needs is his Spell Pen boots and the starting of his Haunting Guise, and then he's really, with his ultimate, he's effective in team fights all the way through. Renekton, on the other hand, he falls off. If he doesn't get as much time early, he's going to be okay. In the mid lane, they're just bullying each other, throwing as much poke as they can.
I don't think Victor's really winning that trade, though. Sasaki not going... Oh, sorry, not... I was going to say not going strong enough, but half health Victor gets another poison there, and Cass really making good out of these trades.
Yeah, the poison stacking on and damage becoming really hard. HKC is looking to see if he can pick up the Echo, knowing he's a bit weaker in the jungle. He's just going to walk off.
He definitely knows. He's probably going to give up his red here. Cass is moving to this red buff as well. We're probably going to see an opportunity come through as there goes the shield from Echo. There comes the poison from Sasaki. Wow, the damage combined with Sora initiates that first blood, and Limited Power get that with ease.
The early damage from Sora having that Doran's Blade, which originally I was going to say it hurt him because he doesn't have the Doran's Shield and they've initiated a lane swap in the situation. But Arma's in trouble.
Oh, Teals comes up from the bottom lane with a bit of a roam. Here's some more poison coming out. Teals looking for the last hit, doesn't find it. Turret going to help him out, and Limited Power already dominating themselves over this map.
Now there is a summoner advantage in the mid lane. There is no barrier to Alma's aim, and he has no flash either. Look for an Echo gang to come through in the near future. It's definitely going to help out Sasaki even further. They already managed to pick up themselves a 500 gold lead.
And Echo can go back willingly because he's got about 2 extra camps on top of this Rek'Sai. He's tried to invade, hasn't worked, lost his life for it as well. And that's really going to backfire and really slow down his jungling phase.
Yeah, as you can see, Echo has picked up that Trailblazer just to help him out a little bit more there. And, ooh, poor Sora, he's definitely taking a lot of brunt of the damage there from them. They're just trying to get some revenge because he managed to do a lot of damage in that situation. And Limited Power down the bot lane. They're just doing a lot of bullying out there on Rumble as well. He hasn't used his teleport yet, so he's actually been very effective.
He's actually 14 CS ahead. Saichi's going very well with this lane swap at the moment, which is a bit unexpected. Although you gotta imagine in that top lane, Sora's with the Renekton just cannot get a bar in. The poke is amazingly huge. He's missing a lot of CS as well. Sykes and Spectre continue to bully him. There's the Karma, and he's looking for the engage up top, but the bullying will continue throughout, and I don't think he's going to get much more than 10 CS in 10 minutes.
Yeah, Sasha's really got the advantage in the lane swap because he has that poke that he has there, and also the shield if they try to poke onto him as well. So he can actually sustain quite effectively. But Echo is there as well now as this lane's trying to push up. Will they make something happen?
Echo really wants something out of this, already having helped get Cass that first kill at the red buff. He's doing pretty good to start off here. Charge still waiting down bottom. Gonna try and get that phase dive. Not sure if he's going to go in. There's the parallel convergence coming through. There's the phase dive with the time wonder combination. The passive not going to go off, and nothing much going to happen for that. But Rumble knows that he can't come out too far.
Yeah, he definitely knows he can't come out too far. That was a bit of a late shield that he wanted to go for, but Charge has gone through. They might go for a dive.
He's back in phase dive again with time wonder combination. Sivir picks up the kill, and Echo, never looking so strong, shows his dominance in that bottom lane.
Teals went in perfectly there. She managed to tank just enough tower trots to get out and do enough damage.
Yeah.
The burst was real coming on through. Alma's also good.
Oh my god, do not deal with Sasaki, but here's where the barrier might have to come into play. There's a petrifying gaze, comes with a flash with the twin fang, and the damage is heaps. It's just too much to handle. It's a 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane, and it looks like because of that limited power can go for the dragon.
Yeah. That was played perfectly by Sasaki. She knew she can't stay back and try to run. She had to go for a traded kill. She goes through and gets it. He knew the summoners were down. Limited Power pick up a quick dragon as well, and a nice trade in the mid lane. Very well played by Limited Power.
First dragon at 6 minutes 40. Because of that Echo's parallel convergence, he can take up so much damage of that dragon. That shield really doing a lot of work for him. Sora's going to pick up some much needed farm in this mid lane and hopefully get himself back into the game before he falls out.
Yeah, he's really far behind, up to 20 CS there. Now he has to back away and head towards that top lane, which is, I believe, pushing away from him, which is not what he wants. They might do the lane swap back now, seeing as that top tower is down. And Rumble now has enough CS to really sort of power on through. He's picked up that Seeker's Arm Guard. It's going to help a lot against the Renekton matchup, who now he seems to be behind. They have picked up the Dragon, which is boosting his bonus attack damage, but he might not have enough defensive stats to really chew through what Rumble's going to start turning into as he stacks up that armor.
I don't think it's going to matter about the Renekton at this stage, because remember, Renekton is just huge no matter what. Oh my god, the damage there. Alma just takes too much, and Sasaki with the petrifying gaze, if that comes out again, he's going to wish he was never born. That is just too much damage coming through Cassiopeia.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage from Cassiopeia. The Teal seems to be in a little trouble, just going to get zoned away by HKAYCEE there. She's okay. She's good. Soon she'll have the wild growth. She'll be okay in any of those situations if she does overextend. So leaving Sivir a little bit high and dry down on the bottom lane, as they've given up the blue buff to Sasaki.
They want to deny this from Cassiopeia, but they're just not quick enough in this stage. HKC looking to rotate on that, but some good zoning coming from Teals denies that. Now with the cast with Petrifying Gaze and the blue buff, he can definitely go straight onto this Victor, get himself a third kill, and keep on stacking that tier.
Yeah, the gold in terms of the lanes from the CES, from Limited Power, are amazing. They've managed to bridge that gap now from the tower goal that they had before. At the same, but there goes HKAYCEE onto Sasaki.
Oh, the Petrifying Gaze goes on HKAYCEE Design, and Design has to back out of this one. Not level 6 just yet. But there's the Petrifying Gaze down. Probably worth at this stage. If Victor wants to use that Chaos Storm, he might actually get an opportunity here.
Yeah, that was a nice trade in that situation. Without the Petrifying Gaze, he can come for a return kill. If he lands the Gravity Field, that's a blue buff transfer going through to Victor. And he has Summoners as well.
Yeah.
And there's no flash on the side of Sasaki. This is definitely something that they should look for.
He's got everything.
But I think Rek'Sai wants to hit bottom.
Rek'Sai actually moving up to that mid lane, but you're right, he does want that bottom lane. I can see it in his eyes. Stealthy and Teals don't actually have that much going on for them at the moment. Teals doesn't have his ult just yet. A couple of levels behind because he roamed early, but Stealthy having that on the hunt to pop always has an escape method.
Oh, it always does have an escape method. And with that spell shield as well, it's just very hard for them to really get on the Sivir.
Yeah.
Even if they do manage to man that knock-up, if she spell shields on time, she's going to just walk away happy and freely. And as well, looking in the top lane, that gap in terms of the gold lead has been bridged. It's 36 CS to 34. I do not know where Sora pulled that out. He's finished now the phage, and the damage from Sasaki is amazing. Alma can't stand to be in this lane.
He's moved around, and I think that Sora, the fact that he's caught up is very well played by him. He's actually now looking for an engage on HKAYCEE, but HKAYCEE not going to use the equalizer this time. Charge going to clear some wards in this bottom side, and the farm is actually evening out across the map. We see the mid lane 20 CS ahead with a Cassiopeia. Jinx about 10 CS ahead, but all across the gold lead has actually evened out amongst the teams. 1 turret to 0, but because of the 3 kills coming from Limited Power, both teams have 14k.
Yeah, and when really that next tower falls in favor of Limited Power, see them to start pushing ahead, because they also have the Dragon as well. They're just going to slowly scale more and more up each time they gain more gold with that bonus attack damage and AP, because they have that first Dragon under the belt. The timer on that has just popped up. The next Dragon will be coming on through in the next 1 minute 50. Look for that to be the next major team fight between these teams.
And the team fight could not be stronger with a Cassiopeia that's building into the Abyssal Scepter. Already has the Blasting One and the Negatron Cloak. Easy Abyssal Scepter start. Probably going to destroy this Victor. Remember, the Abyssal Scepter actually gives magic resist. It denies magic resist, but at the same time, that acts the same as Magic Pen.
Yeah, so it cuts through a little bit as an aura on everyone around it, which is really great for AoE champions like Cassiopeia, throwing out that poison damage. On top of that, because Victor is a very poke-heavy champion who, in essence, should out-poke Cassiopeia, it is a great pick, and it just gives her a more dominance in lane. As long as she keeps on getting blue buffs, she should be fine.
And the focus around this mid lane has actually stopped. Sasaki has the advantage. I do believe he could easily 1v1 this Victor at this stage, as long as he can kite the Chaos Storm and not get bursted by its initial casting. Where's the pressure around the mid lane? Where's the Rek'Sai?
Well, Rek'Sai really needs to make some moves there. It's kind of hard with that Petrifying Gaze because she can really lock down any chance he goes on in, and you have to watch out for Echo with the ring gate. That damage, my god.
Like that, Sasaki hits a couple into Victor, and Alma just cannot poke his head out of this lane. Definitely the lane to watch. We see Rek'Sai coming down the bottom here. Teals having to use a couple of his spells to come through. Still has his ultimate. Here comes the shield coming from Echo, waiting for the phase dive, but the teleport's here as well. There's the equalizer, hits Stealthy and Charge. Sora uses his slice and dice to get out, and no one gets taken out of that one. Just ult popped everywhere.
Lots of rolling by the teams there. That was a well-placed ultimate, really zoning out the rest of the team. But now I think there's more ultimates on the side. Oh, Alma and Sasaki are going for it.
This is surprising us a little bit. A lot of damage going towards Sasaki. Mid lane is pairing it out. It's probably going to be a 4v4 down here. The parallel convergence probably going to go onto this turret so that he can get a stun. 3 members getting pushed out, and that's going to be the second turret coming through from HKAYCEE.
HKAYCEE have the more powerful team fighting composition. They also have a lot more poke on their side. They've got a Jinx, they've got a Lulu, even Grumble has that. As they go on Halma, will he land? Ooh.
Oh, really nice timing to flash from Alma. Charge would have got that kill for Sasaki in the mid lane, but instead, nothing's going to happen there.
And HKAYCEE is doing fantastic in terms of the objective game there. They also managed to pick up that... Did they pick it up?
No, they didn't. Design smited that one before the Boomerang Blade could take that out. Shice is looking for Sasaki, having to force that flash there. But here comes the... Oh my god, there it is. There's the chrono break coming from Echo. Just turn this around, actually. Shice helps get a kill for Spectre, who's in that backline with the rocket. Charge doesn't have enough mana there, and they're just going to take the 1-for-1 trade. What I was stumbling over there was the fact that Design used a perfect unburrow on 4 members, and that helped Spectre pick up a kill.
One of the things that happened there as well is Charge did manage to land a really good parallel convergence as he went in on them and really pick up on Sykes, but he has no mana. There's not much you can really do once you get the engage going. And there they go again, they're just speeding everyone up and how they got Teal.
Oh my god. Stealth with the boomerang. I'm not sure what happened there, but the burst damage coming from Stealthy is huge. 3 kills on this AD carry. You cannot miss that this Civ is probably going to pick up an Infinity Edge soon.
Yeah, now he's got those 3 kills up, that's really helping in the CS advantage for her. Even though Jinx is up roughly 10, that's really being pushed out with a kill worth roughly 20 to 30 CS in that situation. They're looking for another dragon. Yeah,
they pulled out the dragon. Design can't get any vision of this one. There is a ward just out there, so maybe it's going to work in their favor, but with Charge's damage and his pressure at the moment, the equalizer gets dropped down. Teal's getting taken out by that as well. Design helps with that one, but the dragon goes to limited power.
That was a beautiful Rumble ultimate there.
Yeah.
That equalizer was perfect. It landed very well. Teals could not do much in that situation. I'm surprised HKAYCEE didn't really collapse on that. They might have been able to pick up a few more kills if they really went on that. Limited Power still managed to pick up the dragon. That might become a win condition if this continues.
And the Infinity Edge getting picked up by Stealthy. Damage going to come through. Jinx as well has it, so probably going to be a big power spike from both of these AD carries sometime soon. Don't want to 1v1 them at the moment.
Limited Power doing a fantastic job keeping up with the gold count there. HKAYCEE is ahead roughly by about 300. That's purely because of the tower advantage they've managed to do. But it's really their saving grace at the moment. The moment Limited Power really start to go around the map and make some advantages from the picks. But there goes Sora. He's going in.
Sora looks for the stun on this 4v5. Actually, not all members are there. Cassiope is not there either, so they're going to back off of this one. And the sieging's probably going to continue this mid lane.
He managed to pick up a decent knock-up with the Wild Growth there. I'm surprised he didn't throw out the Dominus as well. He doesn't really have enough armor or magic resistance to really make the HP that he's picked up in the phase work for him.
And the clearing will continue. Charge looking for an opportunity, misses the trap, but taking a lot of damage. Spectre with a super mega death rocket takes out Charge, and suddenly this team fight just doesn't look fair.
And there you go, guys. Echo does have a weakness. If you kill him before he can do anything, well, there you have a chance. Burst is Echo's weakness.
That was so beautifully synergized there. Sasaki doesn't want to come too far forward. He's going to take too much damage. Sykes and Spectre, really fantastic bot lane duo. That death rocket with the mantra stacked Q, it just did so much. And once again, that's going to zone out. They can only wave clear from limited power. This turret is getting damaged down more and more each wave. Not sure how long they can defend this for.
Limited Power, again, had that really strong laning phase. That's why they were able to pull ahead in terms of fights and kills and gold now. But HKAYCEE, they've got a team comp that will help them as the game goes longer and longer. And as you can see, they're slowly edging themselves an advantage. LP seem to be on the back foot, even though they're up in kills.
And an easy turret kill going there to HKAYCEE. They look like they're going to sort of rotate around to this blue buff, go back, maybe even set up the Scuttle Crab for Baron. You never know, 20-minute Baron, it is a possibility.
Well, we need to wait another 3 minutes so that Scuttle Crab will be down by the time it comes up.
We do.
However, you know what? It doesn't hurt to have vision anywhere around the map. And really, in this situation for HKAYCEE, now that they've really opened up the map in terms of taking out those initial front structures of limited power, this gives them options. They're actually able to go through there and invade and steal more buffs in terms of the reds, the blues, and really have control over the dragon. The next one, look for it probably to go to HKAYCEE because they have control around the map now.
A lot of pink wards being dropped along this map, so some good ward coverage along this riverside. There's a couple of deep wards placed by Sysh in the top lane. We see a pink ward and another ward there, just to spot out the Renekton coming to lane. But it looks like HKAYCEE really down to push this map at the moment. Stealthy looking for this turret, which he's going to find. But Sykes looks for the binding, on the hunt, gets popped, and not too much is going to happen. Some safety coming from Siva.
Very well played there by Limited Power. They pushed on through, made sure they picked up the turret, got out safely. Did not push it like HKAYCEE is looking for Sasaki.
The unburrow doesn't hit, and now Design actually regrets going in here. There's the Petrifying Gaze. The Poison finishes it off. The Super Mega Death Rocket misses everybody, and Sora looks for the stun. He's aggressing onto Alma, and Shites with the Equalizer well placed, but Charge uses his ultimate, goes straight back to where he was. Alma's still in this fight with the blue buff. Sasaki picks up another kill on the backline. The Ignite comes from Sykes, and Alma gets pushed to the side. Double kill coming through from Sykes. Charge picks up another one, and his beautiful chrono break makes sure that he stays alive.
Limited Power needed that. HKAYCEE seemed to be in the driving seat. Now that they managed to pick up that tower and win that team fight, they should see objectives falling around the map on for Limited Power. Though they're going to push on through, get the mid lane, get some control back themselves. What really happened in that situation? Rek'Sai went in, he missed. He hesitated. That allowed Sasaki to pull through with amazing damage. Charge going a little bit forward on that.
But he's got Cinderhulk. He's got Cinderhulk. The Echo has Cinderhulk, something I've just noticed there. And it seems to be working out. His heavy initiate kit just seems to be going really well. Sasaki on that backline's all the AP damage they need. You don't want to mess with that Cassiopeia, who's got the Abyssal Scepter, and by looking at the gold now, next back, that's probably going to be the Seraph's Embrace, probably because the tier's already fully stacked.
Once he has that as well, look for a massive power spike on the side of the already strong Sasaki. HKAYCEE's trying to find Charge, but he's just going to throw his Q out and he's going to walk away.
But Sykes being very, very careful with his initiates now. His Mantra stack is doing a lot of slow, but it's probably just not the kind of support they want in comparison to the Lulu, who's got a lot of utility base.
Baron is also now live. Look at the control HKAYCEE has put out in the bottom river there. They've really got control of this. They do not want Limited Power getting ahead in those Dragon stacks. Once you hit 3, you're all really starting to get worried. That crucial movement speed buff for Limited Power definitely helps, but really they're building towards that number 5. And now look for this contested Dragon to really break open the game. It's going to decide, I reckon, what's going to happen.
This needs to be contested. Like you said, Spectre's going to get Time Winder on him. The Phase Dive has just run out. He's looking for the parallel convergence. He finds the shield. Stealthy picks up the kill there, and now it's a 5v4 in this pit. The Dragon just became uncontestable unless they can get a steal, and Charge very well placed there.
Spectre shouldn't have been there. He was completely on the other side away from his team. That just allowed Charge to really charge into the situation and take control of it.
Oh, yeah.
And now that that's in the 3rd Dragon for Limited Power, they're really starting to pull ahead there.
The Smite misses by 9 health, but it doesn't really matter. 3rd Dragon getting picked up. That movement speed so crucial to a mobile team comp. And with a 5-for-1 Cassiopeia, you got a 4-for-0 Sivir who hasn't even died yet. You got an Echo who's so heavy on the initiate that he built Cinderhulk. Sasaki is able to 1v2 this and not really care where he is at this stage. Design actually flashes unburrows. There's the Petrifying Gaze, and now Sasaki might have to rethink this. A beautiful Super Mega Death Rocket. The shutdown gold bonus going to the Victor, who desperately needs it. And maybe I was wrong, Sasaki out of position.
Sasaki was out of position there. He just finished his Zerus Embrace. He thought, no worries, I can probably handle a couple of more teammates. I've managed to get a lot more magic resistance. If they go on me, I will blow someone up in trade. No, when you've got that much TC on the side of HKAYCEE and that burst damage coming through that Mega Death Rocket really landing well, even with Lulu, there wasn't much they could do.
And there is the parallel convergence again, just to slow things down amongst that turret. Spectre going to shoot some rockets. They're probably going to look to find this turret. HKAYCEE just so powerful with their sieging. Sora looks to push him off, comes in with a slice and dice, but gets taken out by Victor just before he can come in. Here's going to be the turret going down. The 4th turret for HKAYCEE. That gold lead just shortening bit by bit.
HKAYCEE have a fantastic siege comp. They're just pushing on through. There's so much strong power. If they see a moment of weakness, they can drop the Equalizer on top of Limited Power and really charge on through. The moment Sasaki fell, HKAYCEE seized the opportunity to get more control along the map, really pushing through those crucial mid lane turrets. This opens up more opportunities for them to really get in there and ward up for a Baron still. But Limited Power, knowing that's a possibility now, making sure they have control of that Baron area.
And that's really nicely played by Sasaki, just so he doesn't go into the brush and maybe get caught out by a blindside. Puts his poison in there so he gets vision, and so he can get that pink ward at the same time. Really nicely done. Looks like Limited Power are going to get an easy top turret by good positioning. A bit expected there. Parallel Convergence wants to find someone again. Charge looking a bit risky there. Doesn't get the blue buff. Gets on a trap instead. Might see a team fight around Baron here, Mendrix.
Yeah, there seems to be positioning around there. That zoning potential from Cassiopeia is really stopping HKAYCEE from really wanting to engage. They sort of did catch out, charge a little bit there, but again, he's very tanky for an Echo. He's going into that rower later now. He's really got the catalyst and he's making in towards that blasting one. So once he picks it up, even more tankiness, and he's also got scaling ability power. Although I don't like how late the rower is coming on through for him, if the game does go long, look for it to be a boon in the situation, because HKC have the scaling team. You do need some scaling items on the side of a team that's really trying to win the laning phase and take control.
And I mean, Limited Power do have a bit of a late game, or should I say medium to late game comp coming through. Remember, Echo doesn't really lose as much relevance as one would hope. With the, oh my god, just being shell-shocked there. Sasaki flash petrifying gaze on the hunt, gets popped, but Stealthy doesn't actually find it. The Cassiopeia damage is disgusting.
Cassiopeia doesn't even need to stare in your face to get that petrifying gaze. That took so much HP of a Spectre. All she needed to do was essentially land one more poison and a couple of Twin Fangs. That looked like a pretty good convergence, but it takes so long to really hit a team.
It really does, and that parallel convergence actually just pushes them towards this turret. Makes a bit of a deal of this. Shice drops the equalizer here, but not too much going on as Design looks to the Umburrow, doesn't actually find it. Their front line can't get close. Sora looks to poke his head in a little bit. Remember that Teal still has that wild growth if he wants to go in. Siva with on the hunt on cooldown. Sora just trying to get out of this one. Of course, the dominance gets popped. Looks like HKC still want to find it. They get the smite on Sasaki. So much tension is building up towards this team fight. But it looks like they're just way too fast. Limited Power going to get out of this one and just going to defend this mid turret.
I was waiting to see if there was going to be a Mega Death Rocket just shooting on down for the end there, but nothing really happened. A very well-placed ultimate by Rumble, really pushing away Limited Power. They're looking for a Baron.
And doing what they should be doing here. HKC looking for the Baron. Limited Power going to rotate around to this one, but the damage is going down very, very quickly. Baron already down to 4,000 health. Teleport comes in. Is this going to push HKC off the Dragon? No, it doesn't. Sora actually goes in. The Wild Growth stuns everyone. Design looks to finish off the Baron. Do they get it? Do they get it? No! No! The flash comes in. Sora flash with the Q. And the smite misses by about 500 health. Not played too well by the Rek'Sai. Spectre gets bursted down. And this just turns around. Stealthy looks for the last hit on Sykes. Doesn't find it. And it just turns around because of a misplay coming through from HKC.
Sora comes out big. He knew he had the empowered Cull the Mick. He went through fantastic flash, really went through and cleared that out, getting the Baron for his team. It was well played. It was a good decision by HKC. They had ward coverage. They knew Limited Power didn't know. They weren't in position. But Sora, with the teleport, really knew what he was going to do. There goes the Rumble ultimate. Not enough in the situation to save the turret. Limited Power comes out on top. They are now well and truly in the driving seat for this game.
Oh my god, just charge and the combination of Sasaki coming through, ripping everyone up, but so well played to Sora. I love seeing Baron buffs. If there's one thing in this game that is amazing to watch, it's a contest for Baron. And Sora just knowing how much damage he does, knowing when to go in, flash, Qs. I'm speechless, Mendrix. I just can't believe the miss smite there and really well picked up by Sora. Definitely got to be the MVP of this game if they use this Baron buff well.
If this Baron buff comes out, they're also going to pick up the Dragon through it as well. Sora finds Spectre.
Oh my god, he's actually just stepped up his game. Spectre trying to kite this out. There's a lot of damage going on Sora, but it's just too much. Design comes down to try and pick up the kill, but now he's going to get picked out before he can go through with his tunnel system. Double kill goes to Sora, and his gameplay is just on a whole nother level. This game has turned the tides. And we now see the fourth Dragon coming through. We see so much of a gold lead coming through. About 8k charge getting tankier and tankier. Picked up the Rod of Ages and it's turned on the front foot. Sasaki in the mid lane. They don't need him to siege this bottom turret. Let it begin.
Sora doesn't need Baron buff like the rest of his teammates to make plays. He's looking around, picking up people that he needs, and it's just the damage now coming through from Limited Power is huge. They have close to a 10k gold lead. Now those towers are starting to fall in their favor. They have 4 dragons. They have a multiple options of win conditions in this situation. They can sit back, relax, take the rest of the infrastructure, and know they have a gold lead to sit on. Wait for the Dragon and push on through for HKAYCEE. HKAYCEE need to make sure they pull back. Charge, trying to land a parallel convergence, but use a bit of ultimate goes down.
There's the equalizer, and the Unburrow comes out as well. The rocket is there, but it looks like they're going to pull off a bit of slows. I'm prepping up for something big here, waiting for the tunnel system to come through, and the Unburrow as well, but Time Winder and the Glitter Lance helps with that one. Phase dive to get out. There's the tunnel system waiting for the Unburrow. The flash comes through from Teals. Design looking for another Unburrow to come through. Zora's in the middle of it, maybe a bit out of position. There's the Chaos Storm going to follow him. Alma picks up that kill as well. Teals is just standing on the back line, gets the Polymorph there. Here comes the Cassiopeia doing a lot of damage. Spectre's in this front line, taking a lot of damage. Spectre has to pull out of this one. Not too much mana coming through from HKAYCEE. A bit of an extended fight. Doesn't go anywhere. Charge looks for something on this front line. The traps come out, and you know what? In the end, I think it's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
Look at that minion wave in the top lane pushing on through. I have no idea if that is going to be enough damage to actually take out that turret. Time will soon tell. They're moving there as fast as they can. How much of that minion wave managed to take out? Almost half in that situation. That was pushing on through by limited power from Cassiopeia in the early game. She realized that, oh no, my team's in trouble. HKAYCEE saw a moment of weakness. There's a 4v5 we can go on. They ran on through. They managed to pick up a kill on it, push on through, alleviate some pressure from limited power. And now the team fights are sort of settled down a little bit. Everyone's looking for sort of damage control, clean up their waves, push them out. Now we have to wait and see what limited power will do next. They're still in control of the game at the moment. They need to really go through, put some wards out, see if they can get a pick to push through in the rest of this game.
9k gold leaders where we're standing. Limited power looking very strong at the moment. The 4th dragon is already taken, and the 5th dragon will be up in about 4 or so minutes. Baron not up in another 4 or so minutes as well. So at the moment, it's going to be a pretty fair siege in the middle lane. But if Sasaki gets in the right position, I don't see it going too well for HKAYCEE.
Really, Sasaki lands that Petrifying Gaze, it is over for HKAYCEE. And there's not only that, there's a lot of things you can do. Sora really good at picking out out-of-position players on the side of HKAYCEE. Spectre in this game, he's been caught out a lot in these situations. He really needs to watch where he's going.
But in team fights, he's actually making up for that, and he's doing a lot, as we might see here. The rocket may come out. Sykes, oh my god! The 5-man Petrifying Gaze. The equalizer not going to do too much. There goes the Echo, jumping on Alka. He's down already. Design needs one more hit. The flash comes through. Double kill already for Echo. Double kill for Siva. The ace comes through, all because of what we said. Sasaki, 5-man Petrifying Gaze, gets the whole team. There comes the Wombo combo. Charge, gets that parallel convergence. Even uses his ult on the whole team. Just speechless there about the outplay coming through. Sasaki, Sora, Charge, everyone in this team is working so hard together. They want this spot in the OCS, and by God, do they deserve it from this game.
The patience, the game sense. Sasaki was sitting there waiting on the side, waiting for HKAYCEE to push on through. They knew they had a siege comp. They knew that they were going to be ready to push on through, making sure they would sit on the side. Sasaki's, he's looking for more. He's hunting at the moment.
Oh my god, Sasaki gets Sykes with the poison. Just too much. And Sasaki gets a couple of Twin Fangs too many. Sykes goes down, gets caught out again. Sasaki going to do the same thing. He's just running all over this map. Sasaki does half health to the tank. Petrifying Gaze again. The damage is just so much. Design nearly gets taken down as well. Sasaki's running laps all over their team. You've got a Siva 7 for 0 for 10 who's flawless with a 3-item power spike. Gonna build that Bloodthirster soon. We see a Lulu who's had so much kill participation. Over 80% of their team's kills. Sasaki, who's just been doing so much damage, having built that Luden's Echo. Sure, it may not be as strong as last patch, but it still does a lot of damage. Rod of Ages, 4 for 1 Echo. A Renekton who's just been so good at sieging and engaging. Their team composition makes so much sense in everybody's eyes. Well, it must now.
Limited Power playing their roles perfectly. Not only that, playing their champions amazingly. Sasaki's just landing petrifying games left, right, and center.
Oh my
and
God.
with that 5-man gaze, I still can't get over it. It has done so much work for them. The Baron is now live, but the problem is that HKC can't even go for it because Dragon number 5 is also coming up in the next 15 seconds. Either A, they can choose to take the Baron and give up that 5th Dragon, or they can try and fight it, see if they can stave off this limited power team. HKC do have an edge when it comes to team fights late, but that gold lead is very menacing, and Sasaki is so big at the moment.
They still want to contest this though. Charge looks for the Time Winder to hit Alma, pokes him back a bit. Dragon, look at the health. It's just going down so quick. They cannot steal. Here's the 5th Dragon with the burn damage designs on that backline of Sasaki. But up front, Shice and Alma getting hit really hard. Stealthy, just doing so much damage. There's the petrified gaze again. Shice gets taken down. Sykes gets taken down. Double kill. And Sasaki on the backline adds to his killing spree for Rumble. There's the surrender vote. There's the really good manner from both teams. HKC looked really strong, but limited power, punishing them for every little mistake they made. Sasaki just pushed on through, and his petrifying gaze, along with Sora's Renekton plays on Baron, just made that a whole another game.
Limited power immense. They got that burn damage and they burnt right through them. There was not much they could really do in that situation the moment the Dragon fell into their hands. Fantastic neutral objective control by that team, and really Sasaki coming out big. Before we were going to say Sora man of the match, Sasaki man of the match on mine.
Oh my, their team synergy just gets me so excited. You can see the look in my eyes. I've never seen such amazing Cassiopeia petrifying goes. Sure, they may have been out of position sieging the turret from HKC, but Sasaki, he just capitalized on that so well. The petrifying gaze hitting all 5 members. That's where it turned around. The Baron turned it around as well. HKC was strong, but just not strong enough to, maybe not make as many mistakes. Capitalized well by limited power.
Limited power just were playing amazingly. There's not much I can really say. They were just on point pretty much from that mid-game onwards. A bit shaky in the start. That's what you have to do when you're versing those siege comps. Huge. They came out huge.
Flawless game from the Sivir. We see Stealthy 9 for 0 for 12. Even has that's 21 kills kill participation. The bot lane were just everywhere. That whole game, they're around the mid lane. They rotated well and they synergized really well, which is what's important as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you look for in these competition. In these competitions, you want team synergy. That's what wins the games, not players, teams.
Teams. So beautifully said, Mendrix. We will be right back with you for ACL's coverage of the wildcards. Things are only just heating up. Which teams are going to move to the OCS and which teams aren't strong enough, we'll soon find out. We'll be right back.